BWAAA trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go.
What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we gonna do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill Rewatch podcast.
King of the Hill Rewatch podcast. Yeah, so we're gonna go through one episode at a time. So, what does King of the Hill mean to you?
King of the Hill, it's everything to me.
Yeah,
it's everything funny. Like,
yeah,
I mean, everything unintentionally funny.
Greg Daniels of The Office fame.
Yep.
Mike Judge of Beavis and Butthead, Office Space, Idiocracy fame.
Yep.
Office Space is one of my all-time favorite movies, just simply because of the humor, which is the same exact humor.
Same humor.
Yeah.
It's definitely Beavis and Butthead for me. Yeah, that's a good one. That's another good one by him.
So King of the Hill was on Fox. Growing up in Texas, in a small town that basically was Arlen, this humor hit very, very close to home. I knew all these people.
Yes, any neighborhood in Texas that
Yeah.
you could be in some of the, like, you know, any middle class neighborhood, absolutely. You got the blue collar dad mowing his lawn out there in his white Nike Monarchs.
Oh yeah, and the Walmart or the Megalonomart moves in and starts killing downtown.
Yeah, it kills all the
mom and
downtown
pop
area.
shows.
And
Yeah.
it really reminds me of like the Houston area, really.
Just the fact that they would get up and go to Whataburger. The fact that his wife is an award-winning substitute Spanish teacher who thinks she knows Spanish. His son is somebody we all knew. Bobby.
I might have been Bobby.
That's what I'm saying. Bobby's a weird little dude. He's kind of cool also at the same time, but he's very,
his own right.
He's very much a Texan. You know, my wife makes fun of me because I watch this show all the time. She doesn't understand how I can continue to watch this thing, but it's just so comforting. This show makes me feel good when I watch it because it always has like a really good message.
Yeah, it does.
To,
a lot
to
of
the
them do.
episodes.
Yeah, because Hank Hill's a moral being for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of
And
morality.
he's not a super like alt-right guy
No,
or
he's
anything,
not.
which is who you would think he would be.
He's more of a sinner. Like, yeah, he's more of a centrist.
Very centrist, yeah. Because of just some of the politics and how he doesn't balk at, like, at the time, you know, homosexuality.
Yeah,
or
no,
any
because
of
they
that
talk
kind
about
of
a lot
stuff.
of it. Yeah, they dive into a lot of it. And it was one episode that really stood out to me was like the skateboarding, where he started to skateboard with the preacher.
Skating for Jesus?
Yeah, the skating for Jesus. And like Hank at first was like, this is it. The subculture of skating to him was like it's a bad thing. It's tattoos. It's, you know, heavy metal. And they're all like, let's rock for Jesus.
Satan sucks shirts.
Yeah, Satan sucks. You know, and he just
But it says sucks.
But it says sucks.
That's right.
Yeah, so like even in morality, it's even in that, it's just he's just unique.
Hank is just a straight up guy. He believes in playing by the rules, doing things the right way, and America. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Hank is just about he's as big a rule follower as there ever was.
It's 9 to 5. It's the Ford pickup.
Yep, ranch style
immaculate
house.
Maintenance.
Yep,
the ranch style house. The boss that doesn't really appreciate what you do for him, even though you do. You're the only reason why he even has a business.
Well, his boss is a god to him, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And it's, that was one of the things I don't really understand about the show, because literally the whole show is Hank pretty much juggling this guy's business and the guy's life to try to keep him from like sinking financially in his business and keep him from ruining his life. Hank is just like juggling this whole thing.
It's like Hank just has these blinders on about Mr. Strickland. You know, he can't see anything wrong that the guy does.
No.
And if he does, he always excuses it.
Absolutely, always has an excuse for it. Even when he takes his son gambling and
the son that he meets for the first time at the convention.
And then he has and then he takes Bobby underneath his wing and makes him a golf caddy. And then even when he takes his son and corrupts his son, he is still this elite figure to him. There's a couple of episodes where he like snaps on him, but at the end of the day, he's still
one of my all-time favorites is where he throws up on the lady because he gets so drunk because he's so infuriated at Mr. Strickland at the convention. It's so great. Yeah, so basically that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from episode 1 to the end of season 14 when it was taken off the air way too soon,
abruptly. A whole rushed season.
Yeah.
And I think on the back half of that season, it was rushed so much that you didn't even get an air date. It popped up in syndication, those episodes.
Really?
So that's what was bad about that. They abruptly ended it, and then it got thrown, like the last half of the last season got thrown into syndication. So there is an episode that is considered the lore of the true last episode.
Really?
Yeah, so there's one where I want to say it's the final episode of season 12 they had made it with the intention of it being.
Is that Luann's wedding?
The wedding Luann, where Luann rides off or whatever, and like the sunset kind of episode where they ride off, and then boom, that's supposed to be seen.
Dude, you can
show over, and you could end the show on that note.
You absolutely could, and I
prefer to end it there. So as a fan, I know we're gonna have to touch on it for the podcast thing, but I've not watched much of that 13th season. Really? Because I've rewatched.
It is 14 seasons, right?
13.
Oh, it is 13? Okay.
Yeah, it's 13. So that last 13 season I've watched, but I haven't watched in the same way I watched the first 12. Yeah. And then, again, not in the same way that I've watched, like, the first 6 or 7. Because, like, I've watched it a lot. I've watched it probably 10 or 15 times all the way through from 1 to 13. Yeah. But I've probably watched the first, like, 7 seasons probably double that, you know. Yeah. That for me was 5:30 p.m. In Texas. You get off of school, you do your homework, you eat a little bit of food, and by the time 5 o'clock hits, it's boom, Simpsons. 5:30, boom, King of the Hill. 6 o'clock, boom, Friends, boom, leaving the room, not watching that. So at 5:30, TV ended for me.
Boom, leaving the room, not watching that.
Nah, I didn't watch anything after that. And then when Everybody Loves Raymond came out, I found that funny. I don't know why.
It's a great show. Yeah, it's a good show.
It was good.
And it again is one of those shows that has a great heart to it.
Yeah, Worldwide Pants.
One
of those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go episode by episode, 1 through however many that is. And we're going to talk about each episode and each character and how they develop over time, because they certainly develop.
A lot of development individually.
Yeah, animation development, voice acting development.
Sound quality changes, voices change.
It's basically the Stephen Root show, but we'll get to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You hear more definition in people's voices as it goes on, once they get ingrained into their character a lot more. Yeah. Like at first, it's only like Mike Judge that's really just stuck in his character, but you could hear like differences in everybody's voice up until like after the first season, second season. Once they're
even Hank's voice changes.
Yeah, even Hank's voice changes.
and that's just Mike Judge doing it. But he becomes more of a cartoon character than realistic. But anyway, we'll get to all that. I
think they were able to buy better microphones. I think they got a little bit more money to spend on better equipment. Fox is like, here's the bottom of the barrel equipment. This is what Joan Rivers. This was her equipment.
This was left over from Joan Rivers' show.
You could use this late '80s technology here.
Wait, we're in an airplane hangar. It's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
All right, so we're gonna do episode 1 through however many is the end of 13, the sad ending of King of the Hill.
Sad ending.
We'll probably plan a small party around that episode at the end of season 12, because that's where it should have ended. Just a beautiful episode, by the way, too.
It is. It's a really good episode. And like
Everybody's
I said,
there.
if you really think on it as a fan and as somebody who's watched it in its entirety, that really is a like solemn point. You could really give it its nod there and never watch another episode and be satisfied.
Yes.
I feel more unsatisfied.
satisfied,
Well,
but
not
yeah.
satisfied.
I know what you're saying.
I feel unsatisfied by episode.
Oh, by the ending of it. Yeah.
The ending episode of season 13. Like it's a completely like. If I had to end on season 12, I would have been okay.
Here's the thing. It's not that I don't like Seth MacFarlane, right? I mean, I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a funny guy. But the Cleveland show sucked.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about that ended King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, 13 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland show didn't even make it to 10.
Yeah.
I think I don't think they made it past 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But they still run it in syndication and perpetuity. And
it's a terrible show.
It is a terrible show.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It just wasn't that.
It
fun.
leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I know that too. That and American Dad and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it was just Fox was capitalizing on the Seth MacFarlane train at the time, and anything he was doing was gold at that time. And
it still kind of is. Fox still is married to him. You know, giving him a Star Trek show, the whole thing. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. He's definitely he did the right thing for himself.
Oh, sure.
Not for me, but
you
himself.
You can't talk bad about the guy. I mean, he's done what he's supposed to do, and he's been canceled more than once. Also, come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out,
and give me a good like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo,
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 Wingo. No, he says it was that was my favorite quote from that episode. So we're going to talk about that on the episode too.
Sure.
But that was another one. I live in constant fear of the day Joseph can finally take down his old man.
And in the immortal words of Rusty Shackelford / Dale Gribble,
Hank, it's 3 a.m. If someone invades your home, how are you going to shoot him?
That's great. All right. Well, join us for BWAAA, the King of the Hill Rewatch podcast. We'll see you.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach,
And I'm Mike.
and we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.